is the price for loving you. You might think I wrote this for a boy, for a love interest, or something in that field. But I didn't. I wrote this for my Mamita Luz. Mamita Luz was or is my grandma. It's weird to talk about her in the past tense. I have never experienced grief before. A strong impersonal feeling in which you feel like something is missing inside of you. And also a feeling that no one teaches you how to deal with. There's no book in life, there's no teacher, not even the wisest person in the world can tell you how to experience grief. And that is torture. In my experience, I felt as if something was missing inside of me. I spent endless nights crying my eyes out at exactly point to bring my Mamita Luz back. But guess what? It didn't. If it did, I wouldn't be standing here telling you what I'm about to tell you. I was always angry. Rage was this feeling that was always present. Until the present day, I don't think it has been gone yet. I had this question banging my head day and night. I woke up, the question was there. I went to bed, the question was there. The question was, if I just lost the person that I love the most, why am I angry? As you can see, I was emotionally drained. I was so sad and I was so depressed until I had the horrible thought of taking my own life. Why? Because I wanted to stop crying, to stop suffering, to be with my grandma as in the old times. At school, I stopped talking to all of my friends, and I only wanted to be with two of my best friends. I stopped sending messages to all of my other friends. I stopped sending TikToks, I cut contact with them. And if they ask me right now, why did I do that? I can't even tell them. When my Mamita Luz got sick, my parents and I thought that I was going to fail all of my classes. But surprisingly, I didn't. I got straight 10s, straight 9s, a 9.5 average, and I appeared at the honor roll. That was surprising, until I found out that I used school as a distraction from everything that was going on in my life. That distraction only lasted 7 hours. After school, I used to go to my Mamita Luz's house or to the hospital. I used to study or do homework at a hospital room, at a hospital waiting lounge, or if I was lucky enough, at a dining table. That was heartbreaking. When I didn't want to talk to my family about my feelings, so I found a safe space in music. Music in that time had very specific lyrics. Every song had something to do with what I was going through, and that was torture. What I lived, at the age that I lived it was just a lot. A lot to take in, a lot to present, and also a lot of things I keep my age is not prepared to see. Well, at any age. But let me tell you something. I don't regret any of the things I saw while my Mamita Luz was sick. Because before she died, I made her the promise that I was never going to leave her side. And based on what I'm telling you, I kept it. I kept that promise until the very last second I got to be with her in the same room. And that's why the title of this speech is Missing You is the Price for Loving You. Because we loved each other with all our souls and all our hearts. We were always together. After school, every Friday, I used to go to her house. I would do homework, I would study, I would eat, and then I would stay the night. And I would go back home until Sunday afternoon. It was as if I lived there. I was happy being there. And I know she did love having me there too. Because when my uncles used to call her, she always used to say, Mi cochita está aquí, me está cuidando y me está haciendo compañía. That made me feel complete. When she got the flu or needed some medicine, I was the one that gave it to her. I cooked for her, I took care of her, but most importantly, I lived for her. Just to give you another example of how close my Mamita Luz and I were, I need to give you a fact. When someone dies, the last sense that is active is the hearing sense. So when someone dies, you have 7 minutes to tell that person whatever you want. I read that before my Mamita Luz died, and I used those 7 minutes. I went to her, I held her hand, I gave her a hug, I told her that I loved her, and that please, when she arrived to Tato, my grandpa, she made me notice by making me dream of her. The famous Días de Novenario passed, and at the 10th day, I woke up. And I woke up with the beautiful realization that I had friends with my Mamita Luz. She was in a party with all of her family members that had already passed away. And before she left my dream, she held my shoulder and she told me, Échale ganas, Cochita. Not long ago, I mentioned this very particular nickname, Cochita. That was her nickname to me. Why, you may ask? Well, there's a song called Cachito Mío that Mamita Luz used to sing to all of her grandchildren. The song it says, Me preguntan que por qué eres mi cachito y yo siento re bonito responder. porque tú eres de mi vida un pedacito, al que quiero como nadie debe querer. I was a part of her, and she is a part of me now. So that's why I told you what my grief experience is and was so painful. Going back to funerals and hospitals, I found out that my family wasn't almost possible. They were angry, they were happy, they were sad, they were making jokes, they were crying in a room, or they were just existing, as I was. And that's when it came to me, how personal grief is, and how there is no correct or incorrect way of living it. Because if you want to go out and have a good time with your friends, it's okay. If you want to stay in and cry all day and night like I did, it's okay. Because if you feel comfortable doing that, then you're in a good path. Grief is a very personal feeling. So, if you lose someone you really loved, like your dad, your mom, your dog, or in my particular case, a grandma, and you feel like crying like I did or trying to live a normal life, do it. What really helped me going to overcome my grief experience is thinking about I knew what Mamita Luz wanted me to do. Mamita Luz was one of the happiest persons I've ever met. She was always singing, she was always dancing, she had always a smile on her face. Something that I'm not. I'm an extremely bitter, grumpy person that it's not always with a smile on her face. I'm not doing jokes, I'm not always singing, and I'm not always happy. So I try to do it just for her, just because I want her to see me in a good state. Before leaving, I want to share with you this quote. Not of someone famous and not of someone known, but from my mamita Luz. Mi cochita es mi razón de vivir, es mi motor para despertar. I was her engine to live, and now she is mine. It is awesome seeing how you were someone's motive to wake up, to sue, to sing, to have a smile on her face. And now, that person is your motive to wake up, go to school, get the grades you get, and be the person that you want to be. So, love and take care of the ones that surround you and the ones that you passionately love, so that you leave a mark on them as my cochita did on me. Thank you.